Welcome back as we are joined now by senior walk-on Tarale Murry. So your last chance to be at the Irwin Center on Saturday against Kansas State, local product from Lehman High School in the Hayes Consolidated Independent School District. Tell us about the process of becoming a walk-on 2013. You went through the rigors of trying to, get a spot as a walk-on. What was that like for you?
It was definitely, kind of surreal. First 2 years I tried, to walk on and, talking with Coach Lanier, Coach Augie. Hey, what can I do? Like, oh, well, we've heard about you. We'll try to get you in. But definitely, when I heard about that, a friend of mine told me, hey, you're going to go to the tryouts. And I was like, what are you talking about? So I was like, oh, snap, I haven't played in a while. I haven't done much. So went through, it was 2 weeks before the tryouts. I tried to get myself in shape, but the actual process, first day of tryouts, I was confident. I was like, yes, I did pretty good. I think I'll get a call back. Second day, I think that Tuesday, I was terrible. So I was like, nervous. Like, I called my coaches from high school. I was like, they're going to cut me. I'm not going to make it. I was terrible. And but I made it through, and I was definitely just grateful and wonderful experience, though.
What is it like? I mean, obviously you played at high school, played at a high level as a high school player. Now coming in and having to play every day with guys that are at a different level than I'm sure you were used to for the most part.
Oh no, they definitely. Even at my high school, it's not like we had like the most talented, but just coming here and realizing, I guess a good part for me was that, okay, athletically I was able to hang, but just as far as the experience, they've been playing basketball competitively from, 5th grade, for Kendall. So it's definitely just an eye opener. But at the same time, I did come in realizing, what my role would have been. So it wasn't necessarily like the huge, oh man, disappointment. But it was definitely an appreciation for how, gifted and how hard the guys work.
And you have to do it, obviously, in the classroom as well. That's what you're thinking about is, getting your degree. And you were 5th in your high school class. You're going to graduate from the prestigious McCombs Business School. How about the balance of school, academics, and still doing what you're supposed to do in practice to give these guys the looks they need? I guess, so first 2 years, it was just a student, strictly. And so kind of, I guess, got the hang of, what my weaknesses were, what I needed to do to make sure I made the grade. So coming in with basketball, especially because of 2 years, I did devote a lot of time to training and stuff. So it was kind of like, wasn't much of a change, just the timing of, when I guess workouts were. But from practice, I definitely am focused only on that day or that time of practice. And afterwards, once it's school time, I'll check up on the guys. And my first year, I was really trying to think of, okay, learn the plays, make sure I can explain to my teammates and stuff. But since then, I've definitely been able to balance it. I guess it's kind of always been time management has been a strength of mine. But how do you think the education, one, but two, being part of a team and kind of seeing that side of life will kind of prepare you for the next step? I guess no. From the beginning, I knew that education was going to be important. About being a part of a team and a part of a family, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to walk on. Definitely helps me put in perspective for my brothers and my siblings that are coming up, who have a lot of athletic potential. So letting them know, no, you've got to make sure you maintain your grades. You've got to also work on your mentality about things because it's not like you're just going to come into college, be the man, and then go to the next level. But you've got to be able to balance things both as a person, as far as relationships with coaches and stuff like that. But then academics definitely is important. I'm sure the games are a lot of fun. Great example would be Monday, down the stretch. Isaiah hits the bucket, the defensive play. What's it like being on the bench with your crew, the last five on, and being part of that moment?
It's a blast. It's surreal. It's going even back to when John Holmes hit the game winner to Kansas State to Arizona State in the tournament. Games like Monday. There's time when I'm like, I'm really here. 2 years before, I was watching it on TV. So it's definitely just a wonderful experience. Kind of hard to put in words to really describe. Besides just saying it's fun, it's exciting, and kind of get to break out of my shell because I'm pretty a reserved person. But when the shot goes in or we dunk it, I'm the highest one off the bench. But yeah.
What are the practice battles like though? Because you want to give these guys your all and do as well as you can do in practice.
It's fun because I guess the team knows me and the program knows me as a guy who will let the ball fly. So when they say, hey, Troy, you're this person and they like to shoot, I'm like, okay, I can do that very well. So it's fun. And at the same time, it's also it's good because there's not much pressure from Barnes. Because he doesn't necessarily know everything they're going to do, so he won't critique the, minute things about it. So it's like, okay, run the play and kind of get back at them because sometimes they'll do stuff to us or, just bully us or embarrass us with certain things. So if we can get a bucket on them, we get to, smile and stuff. But
All right, well, we're going to get Coach's take on how things are going with the crew, the walk-on crew. Tarale Murry will stay with us as Longhorn Weekly continues on Longhorn IMG and LHN. Roger Wallace sitting in for Craig Way. Coach Barnes joins us now with Tarale Murry, and Tarale talked about he wanted to do it a couple of times and didn't quite get over the hump as a walk-on, and then he finally got there 2 years ago. What were your impressions and are your impressions of the job he does with your guys?
Well, I will say this. We've had a lot of wonderful walk-ons that have come on into our program, and they've all been great. But I've enjoyed Tarale as much as any, and I have great admiration for him because I'm going to make him talk about this. He won't do it. But I've never seen a guy, a student athlete, since I've been at Texas, wherever I've been, that does what he does from the time he gets up in the morning until he leaves. Like after every game, I normally leave 2 hours or so after practice, sometimes 11:30. He's always in there doing something. But Troy, I want you to really, and I want you to be very transparent here. When you get up in the morning, I want you to walk us through your day. Not just, I'm not talking school, I'm talking about everything you do with your work, your outside job, your family, and everything.
So it depends on the day of the week. All my assignments for this semester have been due Wednesday for my research course, and other 2 business classes. So that factors into it. But I guess wake up 6:30, 6:45. Help my mom kind of get my brothers ready. But really, I'm kind of in charge of the 9th grader. I'm at Death Valley. So I tell him, hey, 7:15, I'm leaving. So gets out there probably 7:16, spare some time. But drop him off at high school. Depending on if I go to work or if
talk about your job, your work. We'll talk about that.
So I'm actually interning right now with a commercial real estate company, and that was just kind of make some money to help out with the bills and everything like that. But so if I go to work, that's 8 to 10, or if not, especially with class, I'll either have assignments to do. So I'll do my assignments from 8 to 12, go to class. After class, because of my class schedule, on Wednesdays I have class again from 5 to 8. But then on Thursdays, I know for sure I have to go pick up all my siblings from school. So elementary at 5:45, brother from high school at 6. That's kind of, I don't know, it wasn't as structured, but
he's really, what my point is, he's got so much going on, and the way he juggles it, and that's why I see him over there. He's always on the computer working, so every minute, I mean, you talk about a person that, I actually did it with Cam yesterday. I said, give me 3 things that are most important to you, and you wrote I wrote those down with him, and I said, now let's see where you put your time. And Tarale's one of those guys, if he wrote down what were the 3 or 4 most important things to him, you would see that's where he puts his time. And what I've watched him do with his siblings is really amazing, and it's truly, it's amazing. And unfortunately, this past week, he lost his grandfather. But I've never seen a person juggle it all and come to practice. And what he does with our players, Roger, is, he knows, he'll tell you that I'm on the floor with DeMarcus Holland, hours on hours. Yep. And Tarale's right there. And what he will do when I'm not with him, he's almost like, I guess, regurgitating what we've talked about, right? Mm-hmm. And he will tell you, how much time do you think you and I have been on the floor with DeMarcus?
Too much, no, but definitely after every practice, you kind of, I guess, relax a little bit, but at least an hour after practice, just working on a shot and just different.
And you look at him, he's our most improved player, and there's no secret to why. I mean, he works at it, and what I would say about a guy like DeMarcus Holland, I love him to death, and as you know, I mean, he's been blessed with an incredible work ethic, mm-hmm. where he wants to do it, and like there's times where, like Tarale said, that it's too much, but the point is, I've told him, I said, and when we're up there together, he does it, and what I'm trying to get him to understand is when we're not up there, and that's where he's gotten better in the last couple of weeks, where he's learned now to really, on his own, to focus on the details in terms of as he's preparing himself to play.
Tarale, your senior day, Saturday, what are the emotions? Your family's going to be there. I'm sure that'll be a special day for you.
Well, definitely. My mom will be there to walk me down. Fortunately, my dad actually will be at my aunt's wedding. But it's definitely just things coming to a full circle. Just another wonderful opportunity. My mom, I don't know if she's gonna cry or not, but for me, it's just this is I don't know, hard to put into words, but.
Has it been what you thought it was from the outside looking in, like you wanted to do it? Has it been? What have you learned from that?
I guess in two ways, definitely coming in. I can't remember the walk-on's name at Wake Forest. Read his book and was like, oh snap, this is what I have to look forward to. But was prepping my mind mentally, and that was probably my biggest concern or biggest thought. Was like, okay, will I be mentally tough or mentally able to handle all that's going on? So I definitely have learned that it is a mental grind just as much as a physical grind. But at the same time, it also was the fun and the joy of being a part of a team and going through the struggles, going through the highs and lows. And so I've taken that from, I guess, my experience.
Are you surprised I get on you as much as I do the other players?
Well, no, I mean, people told me that, you're tough. And actually, my coaches from high school kind of prepared me for you. Because even from freshman to senior year, they were always like, Tarale, this and that, Tarale, this and that. Oh, really? Oh, and you're the exact same. So I'm able to manage it.
Well, what happens, Roger, oftentimes when our numbers are down and he might go, 3, 4, 5 days without doing anything except being ready. And so all at once somebody goes out and we're going to keep moving, as he knows. He jumps out there, and if he's not ready, turns the ball over the first time, second time,
You can't do anything.
But he's been, our walk-ons, and now, we talked about you guys, that you have that little special bond together and the Lube crew, and so you guys have been great. And how about that relationship with the other walk-ons?
It's fun, different personalities, and so that's what I love about being a part of a team. And then with our, last 5 off the bench, but this is the personalities that we have. Brandon and I are kind of maybe the older guys or the more kind of old school guys. We just keep quiet to ourselves, and then definitely Ryan and Joe, with their humor, and Danny kind of balances things out. So yeah.
Roger, you appreciate this. You're a basketball player. We had a discussion the other day about who is the smartest of the walk-ons, who can do it. And Tarale was a little offended because I put, first of all, he knows that Brandon might arguably be the smartest guy on our team.
Oh, no, I mean.
Yeah. He is, no question, in terms of Brandon could, feel for the game, understand, but I put you third, I think, didn't I? Mm-hmm. And he was arguing that, first of all, he wanted to go with, I said, no. And I told myself, I've got film to back it up,
Well, being smart on the court and, book smart sometimes are two different things.
But I will tell you this, if I were anybody and had a chance to hire this guy, I don't care what it is he wanted to do, because I've just watched a guy that's his age do what he's done with the responsibility outside of with his family. It's really been a great inspiration to me.
Appreciate your time, Tarale. Congratulations. Enjoy your senior day on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Senior Tarale Murry. We'll come back with more on Longhorn Weekly on Longhorn IMG and LHN right after this.